Good morning, friends. Thank you for coming back and joining me to make another card. Welcome. I hope everyone's doing fabulous. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And if you've been with me before, I'm glad you're back. So we're continuing today with my Stamping A to Z project. And last week when we left off, I told you that this week we were up to Bloomin' Love, which was kind of good because we can make a Valentine just in time, right? Um, this set had a coordinating die, and it was called Bloomin' Heart Thinlits. And there were only 3 dies in that set, but this makes a beautiful, beautiful heart. I actually have, and I don't know if I did these in a class or in a previous video, but these were some of the ones that we had done before, and when I cut those hearts out of the glitter cardstock, I thought I had 2 here. I do. They were pretty, pretty, pretty. That was the other one. But I'm not going to cut the hearts out today because I have an idea for another card. Yeah. So if you're new and you're wondering what Stamping A to Z is, I will briefly tell you. During my time as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I acquired a lot of stamp sets, and like the one that we used last week, some of them have never been used. And so my goal is to make it through all of my stamp sets and at least use them once. I have a lot of other company stamp sets that I like, but I really want to try to get through the Stampin' Up! Ones, and then I'll just move into all that other stuff. I do mix my stamp sets together a lot, so sometimes we are using 2 different ones at the same time. So, what are you working on exciting? This one, obviously, I have used many times, and I've made Valentines because they're all stained red. But I want to use the heart stamp because I don't really think I've used that a lot. And because I'm not really going to use the dies, I did use those little dies out of there, and I cut out some of the flowers just in case I want little accents to use. I don't really know yet. And the designer series paper that I picked has it's a specialty paper. It has the metallic impressions in it. I think that's kind of copper. It didn't look right when I held it up against the gold, but I used a punch and I cut out some little leaves, and I probably could have used a die and got something closer to this shape, but I just had some scraps over in my package there and grabbed the punch and cut out a couple of leaves from that. And one strip was too thin, so I used my little heart punch and I cut out a bunch of baby hearts. Aren't they cute? Yeah. And that was just out of scraps. So those are there in case, I don't want to drop these because I'll break the punches. Okay, those are there just in case we want to use any of those little pieces. And because I'm not going to die cut and use too many different inky things, I thought maybe we'd do a fun fold card today. And I know some people don't really get into doing fun folds, but this one's super simple. I saw this done on Connie Stewart's channel one time, and I don't know if this is her original design or where she saw it, but thank you, Connie, for sharing, because that's what I'm going to use today. Oh, and here comes Miss Eller. We could be in trouble. I'll put the measurements in my description box below. I'm using, this designer series paper that I just mentioned was an old set of Love You Always designer specialty paper, and I have very little of this left. And most of what I do have left are very small bits, which is one reason I chose it. And this is Blushing Bride. So I grabbed a piece of Blushing Bride just in case I want to use that for something. It coordinates well with the Retired Rococo Rose, which is what I die cut those little flowers from the die set out of. And so I also grabbed Rococo Rose ink because that will be a little bit darker and show up better against my paper. If you have a couple of different patterns, you can do that on your card. I unfortunately didn't have enough of any other pattern to mix and match with this. So, you know what? I do have that one piece I found afterwards. You kind of want to be careful if, I don't know if I want to do that though. We'll see how it goes. If you're using a directional pattern, make sure that all of your design, in my case the flowers, are going up and down or across, whichever you prefer. And we are starting with, I don't want to get my pieces too mixed up here, a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is 5.5 by 11, and then I scored it at 1 1/4, 5.5, and 9 1/4. And I will fold this in half on the 5.5 inch mark. Pull these other little pieces out of here. So this is a super easy one, like I said. Not a whole lot of measuring or folding. And this will be our card base. I'll take my first score mark at the 1 1/4 inch. Ah, and I did that wrong right off the bat. So you have to remember how this was. I want to fold it in. There we go. Fold it in. Yep, because this one, where we scored at 9 1/4, leaves a little bit wider panel, and I want to fold that one under. So now when we fold our card, we have a flap over top of a flap. How's that? So to open it up, isn't that cute? I thought that was cute, just something a little different. So now we have to have our panels to decorate our card base with. So on the front here, we'll need 2 panels that are 1 inch by 5 1/4. One for the very front and one for the inside front. We'll need one panel that is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go on this wider panel that flips out. And this is why I didn't know, but I think the white's going to separate it enough that that'll be pretty, huh? I think so. Oh, what's banging out there now? They weren't doing anything with the trees, and now I hear trucks banging or something. That'll make my dogs all go crazy. That leaves us all of this area over here to stamp and decorate in. And then on the inside, we'll need one piece. And again, you can use a coordinating pattern piece or your same pattern. And this one was 4 by 5 1/4. And that's going to fit in here. And that leaves this section open to stamp our message or write a note or whatever. Then we have a piece of basic white again that is 1 1/4 inches by 10, and then a piece of the designer series paper that's 1 by 9. That's going to go in the center, and we'll make a belly band to wrap around our card to help hold it closed because of all the folds being on one side. It's going to want to pop open. So let's start by getting some of these. Well, you know what? I'd really like to start by stamping. I'd rather stamp first. See what's going to fit on here. Because I really think that heart is so pretty. It is on that plastic. Ooh, tight, tight. Is it going to fit? It might not. So then my other plan was, because I did have a backup plan, that this will be our focal point on the belly band. And I will cut a piece of basic white, a square, or I'll use my stitched squares to cut a panel out that we'll stamp that on. And then we'll put our message down here and maybe some of our decorations on the side. See, I was kind of prepared. Grab my white here. And we'll get our heart stamped. Does anybody even send Valentines anymore? I mean, I don't know. We have, oh, I hear you. We have I have a group of gals that I went to school with, and we get together occasionally for dinner and drinks, or we have a Christmas party, our group, and oh, she's here. No, you have to get down, Mama. I'll give you a spank. You already fell on the rulers once. I'm so afraid she's going to get hurt. There's so much junk up here. So let's stamp that in a little bit from the edges so that I can die cut it. Anyways, for Valentine's Day several years ago, we had started sort of like a Galentine's thing. We just went out to dinner, kind of went back into our school days and made little Valentine boxes or bags or whatever, and we took treats for each other, so that was fun. So that's coming up here in a little while, and I kind of have a plan of what I'm going to do for my girls this year. Oh, where are my dies? Struggling with some cranky back this week, so I don't know why it's being mean to me. Oh, see, I was gonna knock everything down. Can we tell I was making frames with these? They're all taped together. Let's get some of this off of here. I think this will be the right size. If I can get to it. Oh, see? What are they banging? My goodness. And why did they wait until I got started? I've been up here for probably an hour getting my paper cut, and I had a phone call and blah blah. Oh, and I have my Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that I order any products from. She's in California, and she has they're called Stampin' Plays once in a while, and I haven't participated in one for quite a while, especially since, you know, hubby was sick over the summer and kind of didn't do a whole lot there for a while. But anyways, I'm going to do her Stampin' Play tonight, and what she does is sends out, oh, you're here. Why are you here? Why don't you go down in your little box I gave you and play with the toys that you're allowed to play with? Ugh, and take stamps. Yeah, so she sends out the paper dimensions and stuff, and you get all your cardstock cut, and then we all get together through a Zoom call, and she'll tell us how to put the card together. And of course, everybody's will be different because we're all using different paper, different stamp sets. And it's fun to see how we all start out with the same paper dimensions but come up with different designs of cards. And then we play a quick game of bingo online. So, and they're playing it different now. I'm a little nervous that I don't know how to play. This will be a new one for me, because because I haven't been on for a while. So I'm anxious to see what she's got for us tonight. And I have in the past, when we had those, if they were a really fun card that I liked, I've shared those designs during some... Oh, Ella, please, get down. During my videos so that other people could use their... Oh, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, it will. Really. You have to get down. If you knock the cord... Oh, are we still working? Yay. Out you go, little Miss Muffet. Go on. Go play. Go play out in the hall. Oh, poor kitty. But if she knocks the cord on my camera, it will freeze up. And that'll be the end of the video. And it's never fun to have to start all over again. So, now, I'm going to cut one larger one out of the Blushing Bride. I don't know if we'll use this because it might be too big and take up too much real estate on the front of the card, but I'll have it ready just in case. How's that sound? So come back here, my cut and emboss, because I want that heart, I think, to have a matte in the background. Yes, and then I saw my winery friend that I was telling you had asked me if I would do a card class. She posted the class last night, so yay! I need to start cutting cardstock for anybody who may be signing up for that. Ooh, that was pretty close to the edge. We're all doing good here. Having a little bit of frigid winter. My goodness, it decided to get really cold. We've had some snow off, and I think we're supposed to get snow today, too. I don't know when it's supposed to start, but... See, that would look pretty with that background, but it might just be too big on the belly band. We'll see. We'll see. You never know. It might be just right. Just what we need. Who knows? And that was my stitched shapes. It has squares, ovals, and circles. Just a very basic. We've talked about that before. If you're just starting out with your card making or paper crafting and you'd like to get some dies and you don't really know what to start with, if you have the opportunity, get your basic shapes. Squares, rectangles, circles, ovals, maybe a banner, whatever you have the opportunity to get, your basic shapes will be your best friend. All right, so, you know, this will be here. Now I need to, what am I going to put here? Now I got kitty hair all over. I wonder why. Maybe there. And then we can use a couple of our little flowers and hearts to decorate with. Oh, I should have heat embossed that in the copper, huh? Do we want to heat emboss? Is it copper or bronze? I don't really know. No. Yep, right out back. They're banging away. What's this one? This one is... Ooh, copper. Let's give a copper a go. I try to keep all my little embossing stuff together here. Doesn't always work out that way, but I try. So I have my Versamark ink. A little unexpected change in plan here for my design, but that's okay. We're nothing if we're not flexible, right? We are flexible. And I have my little embossing buddy or anti-static bag, whatever you want to call it. I don't have my heat tool turned on and warmed up, so I'll probably have to turn this light off for a minute to do that because I only have one outlet left behind me. Okay. Ink up my stamp. And you know what I'm going to do? Call me crazy. I'm going to make a little pencil mark right here. Oh, on the base there. So I know where not to go past with my ink. That'll be better. That way I don't have to double up my cardstock while I'm stamping and I can get a more even stamp. So I don't have a whole lot of room here to play around. You could add whatever you want. You don't want to make a Valentine, but you maybe do have somebody to do an anniversary card for, or somebody just that you want to say, I love you. I love you. Yep, this could be very pretty. Sprinkle that with my copper. Clean my stamp off. Set that aside and not lose it. That'd be a good idea. And then I'll just put some scrappy paper over here. Did I take it off there? I need to. Just trying to get it out of the... There we go. I might even put a heart or a little flower on there. From the stamp set, we could use come here, flower. I could use what's on the paper, but I don't want to scrape off what I just put on my... And how about, I think there's one small one. Oh, and you know what? The little die cut that I cut out of the Rococo Rose is going to fit on this. So we may be able to layer it up a little. That would be fun. One there and one here. Did I hit you in the head? I'm so sorry. I was hitting people when I try to do my video, huh? All right, let's get this powder put back into the little pot. Close up my ink pad because the powder will stick to that if I happen to scatter it. I don't want to do that. And let's close this before I spill it. Not after. All right. Close and put my stamp away. Yay. All right. Now for the noisy part. Oh, stuck in my bookshelf. And I will mute you for a minute while I do this, and then hopefully I'll remember to unmute you. Are we back? We are back. I gotta turn the light away. All right. So now, see, if I would have really been prepared, I could have had my heat gun warmed up and it wouldn't have taken that long to melt all of that embossing powder. But I didn't plan on doing embossing. It is a pretty effect though. Even my pencil mark. And we can start gluing things together. Get some of the stuff out of the way so we have room to do that. All right. So we needed the 1-inch piece for that and this. Okay, let's move my dimensions out of the way. Oh, see, I hit you in the head again. It's amazing, isn't it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's get our paper on here. This really is pretty paper. What do we have coming up next? I guess this really doesn't have an up and down design to it. I guess it's more or less on this paper. It would look different if it was going sideways. Because my leaves are mostly up and down, it would look different this way. So I did try to cut them all going in the same direction. How's that? Yeah, so and then this was the larger 1.5 inch wide piece. It's sticking marvelously to my hand. Oh, you know what? I want to make sure that this all lines up. You know what? This isn't turning out half bad, is it? You never know. When you start with an idea and you're just never, I don't really always have it thought out completely. Never always quite sure how that's going to work. Okay, so before we get into this decorating part, let's get that 10-inch strip that would go around our card. And gently fold. Trying to make it straight. Okay. And we can that put together and then take the designer series paper. No, I don't want to exit. Ooh, see, I bumped something. Sorry. So sorry. Oh, there's that kitty cat hair that I just can't get rid of. And we'll center this on our white strip. Ooh, that's not what I would say is centered there. Oh, and I ripped my white. Darn it. Darn it. Oh, trimmer, trimmer, trimmer. Where are you? I think this is still 10 inches. Oh. I ripped that one. Let me fix this. That was a 1 by 10. And you know what? works much better if I just do this. Piece of white off of there. I'm just going to center it on my, no, it wasn't 1 by 10. It was 1 1/4 by 10. Ah! There you are. Another one. What not to do, right? You know what I can do? Rather than cut a whole nother piece of paper, because I don't have another scrap handy. This was my 1 by 10, so let's just cut this down to 3/4 of an inch, and that will work also. I'll have to clean my trimmer, but that's okay. Probably use it anyway. So keep the measurements that I gave you. Those would be correct. These are correct when you mess up. I just cut my designer series paper down to 3/4 of an inch wide and put it on a 1 inch wide strip of white. Then let's try to fold this around again. And, well, yeah, I guess I was going to say, I'm not sure I'm going to like where my ends meet if it shows on the front of the card, but we're going to hide that with our heart. So it's not really going to matter. We are still good to go. I'm going to use a little, I think I'll use some liquid here. Why am I dinging over there? What is dinging? Good. Good. Put that together for a sec. Right, now let's decorate our... See, this could be, if you do not want to put anything on the front, I would just use this on the back of my card and keep this as the front. It works. Oh, good. More little scraps, right? Well, if anything, I should be putting this on my belly band. But then I'm not using my heart. What am I doing? I'm just rearranging everything. Come back here, little flower. But I like this better. We could put the heart on the inside. There you go. Yes. Okay. Yep. Well, do I want to do it over here then? No. I'm going to do it this way and put the seam on the back of the card. Sorry, I'm getting quiet, aren't I? I don't mean to do that. I know sometimes then it gets hard on the video after I upload it. You can't hear. I apologize. I'm not trying to do that. Sometimes when I get thinking to myself out loud, which is always dangerous anyway, it turns into a mumble, and I don't mean to do that. Remember, when you're using a liquid glue and any kind of foil paper, that it will smear onto your foil, so be extra careful. Don't stick to me, stick to it. Why aren't you sticking to that? I'm going to put this on here so I can see what I'm doing. That one leaf doesn't want to stick. But you must, you must. You're going to be part of the decoration. You have to stay on there. That, and there's a smaller one. Yes. Okay. Some dimensionals, and then you remember the hydrangea series of paper and stamp sets that Stampin' Up! Had. If you're a Stampin' Up! Customer anyway, they had these really pretty pastel pearls, and there was a pink in there. So I did pull those out thinking I might be able to use those on here. Where are my dimensionals? I'm sitting here. Is this video taking forever? Oh, it is. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. All right, time to get it together. Let's finish this baby up. And I'm only saying about the pearls because these little flowers that I die cut do have a center in them. And when I put the dimensional on the back of them, it's going to leave a sticky center, except this little one doesn't have middle popped out yet, so I'm going to leave it there. So I can fix that sticky center by putting a pearl on my flower. And then, on my finger. We can also add one to the center. Of our embossed flower. And then it does all go together. Let's get that heart stamped on the inside, which was supposed to be the whole point of this video. Oh, and I have my little hearts. Maybe I'll put some of those on the inside because I'm liking the outside the way it is. You guys get up there for a minute. Oh, I can even put that in there. But I don't think so. I think I want to stamp it directly on my card. So let me get my heart back out here. Wow, did we take a 360 on that design, huh? Not really. I mean, the card, the fun fold part of the card didn't change. Oh. See, when we do heat embossing, it always does make me make my videos a little bit longer, so I am going to heat emboss. I really do try to plan that out better. I think I'm going to add a couple. I feel bad because this is such pretty paper and you're not really going to see anything over there, right? Because it's all going to be hidden, but that's okay. And then we can stamp our message inside. have to open up that ink pad again. That was so hard to open and close. Typically, we would add another piece of cardstock for our insert. Because this is folded up, though, if you're going to mail it, I don't think I would do that. I would stamp directly on to our card base. If you're going to hand it to somebody, then you could probably add an insert panel, although it's not necessary. Did I just put that in my ink? No. Close. Yeah, I wouldn't try to make it too much weightier, especially if you're going to mail it. This glue's not sticking. I don't know why. Oh, sounds a little watery. Weird. Oh, I got glue on that. What do you think? I like it. Put your belly band on. And there's our Valentine. I like it. And that's using my old Bloomin' Love. Bloomin' Love. Well, I appreciate the fact that you guys all hung out with me for a little while today to make a card. It's nice to get back into the swing of trying to get these videos every week. Let's see. Next week, oh, where are you? Ooh, touches of texture. Oh, 2 of 2. Where's 1 of 2? 1 of 2. Oh, well, this will be fun. So that's next week. At the end of the alphabet we go. And until then, everybody stay safe and healthy. And go make a card. Send somebody a smile. Or save one for February 14th anyway. See you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.